Some of the most bananas beliefs throughout history revolved around women and their magical bodies. But can we blame the old-timey patriarchy? Kinda. We can also blame shoddy studies and being superstitious as heck. While we clearly haven't figured out all the mysteries of the universe,
Your body's a wonderland.
we've definitely debunked all of these old-fashioned theories. Menses kill bees. Pliny the Elder, an ancient Roman philosopher, compiled an encyclopedia called Natural History with a section totally devoted to the alleged powers of menstruating women. According to good old Pliny, side effects of ant flow included dimming the reflection of mirrors, driving dogs crazy, and killing entire swarms of bees. He also believed that if a woman's menstrual blood was somehow exposed to lightning during a thunderstorm, the storm would be driven away. Controlling the weather with your uterus? Take that, Thor! Chicks have less teeth. Aristotle, ancient Greek philosopher and scientist, might have been a genius, but his views on women were, problematic. He believed his lady friends to be incomplete versions of men with less of everything: brains, brawn, and strangely, even teeth. Aristotle argued that men were superior thanks to their intellectual virtue incompleteness and gals were meant to serve them. Yeah, fast forward to currently serving some serious girl boss. Uterus U-turn. The ancient Greek physician Hippocrates invented the term hysteria, which meant pretty much anything that went wrong with a woman's health. And the cause? A wandering uterus. And another ancient Greek, Aretaeus of Cappadocia, said that the womb is closely resembling an animal and moves itself hither and thither. And people believed it. For centuries. Even after more was understood about the female body and its functions, hysteria continued to be used as a diagnosis. Thanks for mansplaining it, guys. Sexual feelin. Victorian-era sex was super taboo. While men could indulge in their sexual fantasies, horny women were considered low class. Women were meant to endure sex, not enjoy it. A famous, though false, anecdote claims that Queen Victoria once advised her daughter to endure her wedding night by doing one thing: lie back and think of England. Women even went to the doctor to be relieved of their sexual urges, which were assumed to be just another case of hysteria. Symptoms included erotic fantasies and irritability. As treatment, doctors would manually stimulate the women, eventually leading to the invention of the vibrator. And no one admitted that this treatment was really orgasms. We're guessing the average Victorian chick could handle multiple doctor visits. Itty bitty. Back in the Victorian era, people thought solo sex was not only immoral, it could lead to developmental delays, such as girls being flat-chested. In 1875, Dr. John Cohen wrote in The Science of a New Life that girls who have followed masturbating habits are apt to be flat-breasted, or as we term it, flat-chested. Myths about the dangers of solo sex were so pervasive that people went nuts preventing their children from touching their bathing suit areas. Victorian doctors even sliced and diced the genitals of young girls to prevent the practice. Maybe we'd be better off hitting the books instead? Not so fast. Reading infertility. These days, women usually outnumber men in universities, but it was once thought that women who read too much would become infertile. Harvard professor Edward H. Clark thought that while women are capable of learning, too much studying could lead to infertility. Clark recommended that girls receive limited schooling so as not to damage their baby makers. Thankfully, well-educated women disproved Clark's theories, risking life and womb with both reading and writing. An 1885 study by Annie House and an 1887 paper by Mary Putnam Jacobi debunked Clark's ridiculous theory. End of story. Baby uggo. In 1995, author Julia Epstein wrote for the Yale Journal of Law and the Humanities about the centuries-old debate over whether or not imaginative activity in the minds of pregnant women could explain birthmarks and birth malformations. You see, in the 18th century, people believed women's thoughts could affect her baby's looks. It was widely recommended that women avoid unwholesome things, lest they deform their developing child. Important science in a time when no one took showers. Monthly visitor. The idea that a woman on her period is somehow unclean dates back to forever. Even in the biblical book of Leviticus, not only was a woman on her period unclean, so was everything she wore and touched. According to 13th century philosopher and theologian Albertus Magnus, quote, "Menstrual matter is extremely venomous and gives off fumes which can poison children." These ideas persisted in Western culture well past the point you'd think people would have stopped buying into it. In the 1920s, a doctor named Bella Schick described an alleged menstrual toxin that was secreted in a menstruating woman's sweat and had the power to cause flowers to wilt. But this isn't women's health unless we talk about tampons. Tampax Virgin. When Tampax was introduced in the 1930s, many people thought they shouldn't be used by young girls because, according to, everyone, a tampon would result in the loss of virginity. Consumer Reports released an article in the 1940s giving virgins the okay to use tampons. And in case there's still any confusion, the only thing that can make someone lose their virginity is actually having sex. Speaking of how that works, Preggo on demand. In 2012, Missouri Congressman Todd Akin made a ridiculous claim about rape victims.
If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down.
But he's not the only one to have that belief. In 1995, North Carolina State Representative Henry Aldridge said that rape victims cannot conceive a child as the juices don't flow and the body functions don't work. Pennsylvania state legislator Stephen Frand claimed in 1988 that the odds of a rape victim becoming pregnant were 1 in millions and millions and millions. Hi? Did everyone skip sex ed in 7th grade? The impossibility of rape leading to conception has even been used as a legal defense since at least the 13th century. A historian at the University of Birmingham unearthed a British legal text from 1290 that says, "Without a woman's consent, she could not conceive." What's that about women being inferior, Aristotle? Work it. While women today have it much better, things are still far from perfect. A recent global study showed that 3 out of 4 women believe their country has unequal rights. Nearly half of the women in the world say they don't personally feel they have equal status to men. 1 in 5 people still believe that women are inferior to men. And the bees are dying even when we aren't on our periods. We might live in a more enlightened time, but there's still work to be done. So get out there and read, pleasure yourself, and live your life. So generations from now, this will all be history.
Run the world, girls.
Thanks for watching. Click the list icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out this other cool stuff we know you'll love too.